The first is honesty, even if it hurts. And the reason why I think honesty is such an important one is even when it's something like, if my partner says, Sadia, you've gained weight. Yeah, as much as I might not like that, or, you know, your makeup doesn't look nice, as much as I don't like that, what it does is it redirects me into a way that will keep us connected. One of the reasons why so many people end up having affairs is they have this kind of unmet need, but a fear of telling the truth to their partner because their partner is so fragile and easily offended. So there might be a man that feels like his wife has let go and doesn't want to tell her, but then will outsource sexual desire elsewhere. It might be a woman that feels like her man is not, you know, aggressive enough physically when they're making love and whatever, so she ends up never saying it to him and then outsourcing it elsewhere. So I would say honesty is important, but honesty without brutality. What happens is people who suppress it is that they don't say the truth, but when they get into a fight, they say the truth but with venom. They say, this is why you're so shit, and this is why. They say it negatively. So you want honesty without brutality, honesty with whilst you're on a good terms rather than just during a fight. So I'd say honesty is a really important one about what your needs are. Another thing is not doing anything behind your partner's back that you wouldn't do in front of their face. And what I mean by that is, even if that means I would say so, integrity. Because even if, let's say, for example, he's texting a girl or I'm texting a boy, if that's something I would do in front of him, say, I'm just messaging this person, or I'm just talking to this person, there's nothing wrong with that. But where you would do it the same behind their back as you would in front of them, that integrity is really important. You don't become a different person when they leave, because the people who do that end up having two parallel lives. They live completely different lives. And I think it all kind of boils down to honesty, really. I would say, if anything, I would just say honesty is a really important one, because it enables all the other features of a good connection to thrive. If I'm honest with you about what I like in terms of emotional intimacy, we create emotional intimacy. If I'm honest what I like in terms of physical intimacy, we create that. If I'm honest about what makes me less attractive to you, we create attraction. So I just say that honesty is a really important one. Would you add anything else to that one? Which is why I always say that successful men have it the hardest. I'm not talking about you. I think, praise be to God, you have a very beautiful marriage. But generally speaking, successful men, I find, have it the hardest time when it comes to being married. And it's because they create a life that it almost enables a lazy woman. Yeah, I mean, that hasn't happened for you. She's an absolute, legend in her field. But the majority of very successful CEOs happen to have wives who then have nannies, cooks, chefs, so on and so forth. And what happens is that she doesn't have to rely on any instinct to predict her partner's needs, because it's all taken care of. It's all kind of outsourced. But he still craves female attention. He craves his wife loving him. He craves his wife saying, oh, baby, your shirt is ironed, or baby, your lunch is packed. I bought those stupid crisps that you love. It seems so small and effortless, yet he doesn't get that. Whilst he's building an empire to help create a life that she loves, she sees it as childish to kind of do that for him. And we label what a man needs as childish. You can do it yourself, but we can do it ourselves. We can pay our own bills now, but we still love it when a man does it. So I think that's where I say the narcissism is coming through. Feminism has taught women that catering and appreciating and showing love for your man is babying him, and he should be a grown-up and he should do it himself. But then what is how else does he feel loved? How else is he going to get it? The only other way to get it is sexually, and then that is replaceable. Any girl can have sex with you, but how many girls will know what you want in your sandwich? And if that's not your wife, then who's it going to be? So they start to outsource affection, and they end up majority of the times with gold diggers, and they end up with escorts who they fall in love with. I've met so many successful, intelligent men fall absolutely head over heels in love with escorts, because you've got to remember the market of an escort or a webcam. She deals with men with low self-esteem every single day. So she knows all she has to do is take an interest in him for 5 minutes and he's putty in your hands. So she will say, oh, I got you a jam sandwich, I know you love it. And he will be like, I'm in love. She knows what she's doing. So they end up falling into such a bad pattern because they're so starved of appreciation. So that's why I try and encourage women to prevent them going down that route. One thing I would say is, I know women, I was taught that men can disconnect emotionally from sex. I really disagree with that, because if you get a man to have sex with a woman who looks like she's not enjoying it and looks like she's in pain, or looks like she'd rather not be there, his fulfillment is minimal. There's nothing there. Whereas When he would rather take a less attractive woman who looks like she's having the time of her life and looks like she adores him over an attractive woman who looks like she can't stand him. So there is something psychological in it for men as well. If it was just a human need and every hole is a goal, they wouldn't read a woman's expression so deeply. I know men that have become impotent because their wife has expressed such disgust when they've tried to be sexually active with her, and they've literally lost their ability to erect. So I do think it's equally psychological. I just think men don't realize it's psychological because they're usually so erect and ready to roll. But I do think it's signals, it's psychological signals that determines their sexual pleasure.